And today you've been doing things about grammar. Could you tell us a bit about what your session was about?
Yeah, well, it's the theme of the conference is one of the parts is reflection, and so I'm very much in tune with my own reflection as a language learner. When learning grammar in the languages I've learned, like Spanish or my French, I'm trying to learn a bit of German at the moment, I always need to practice. And practice, 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 you see, and that's what I try to take into the classroom as well. Now the thing is with practice techniques are often on the back end of things. They often maybe find themselves trying to get in the limelight because they're not communicative. Take things like drilling, translation techniques, dictation, they're not communicative. So people say that techniques like that, since they're not communicative, they don't belong in the communicative classroom, which is a very, very strange idea. If you look at a musician, musicians, or music education rather, I'm not aware of a time in the history of music education where it was always about performance, performance, performance. You learn a musical instrument by performing and practicing, and there's never been any issue here, you know? So it's strange to say we shouldn't be practicing as musicians because practicing is not performance. Apply that to language teaching, it's the same thing. These non-communicative techniques for practicing, it doesn't matter that they're not communicative, they're for practicing, and that's the point. So I'm trying to putting the practice activities, that's what the talk's all about, practice activities coming down from my own reflection as a language learner.
And why do you think, Jamie, that some people, look down on those kinds of activities?
It comes down to images of what we should be doing in the classroom. And we're all influenced by this, influenced by ideas like student-centeredness. As an image, it's a very, very important one to be attracted to. But the problem is, when you become completely attracted to one image, there's a danger that you'll be repelled by another. And I think that's what it comes down to. So with taking a basic sort of image and reacting against it, or that one being, if you think of a teacher drilling, the mathematical layout of that is mathematically teacher-centered, isn't it? So there's a reaction against that type of thing. So it's important to see through these images, and that's what it's about.
And you do a lot of creative work with using video in the classroom. Could you give us an example of where sometimes you might combine the video with doing a bit of grammar in a creative way?
Yes, some of the activities that I'll be looking at today in my workshop use video. Two of the activities use video. One of them is a video poem, and I've transcribed a poem, I've adapted it, simplified it, included sort of motifs of repetition, for example, and then we start off by drilling the poem. It's a sort of chant, a teacher-led chant. And it's very repetitive, the language is very simple, and it's fun. And the task is not just for students to chant, but there's a thinking activity as well. They've got to try to identify the title of the poem, and that requires engaging with the whole text. And later, immediately afterwards, we watch the video poem on YouTube, and bam, everything is revealed. So that's one activity I'll be looking at.
And will you be uploading any of these things to your newly designed website, blog? Do you call it website? Do you call it blog?
A website, yeah.
A website, yeah. What kind of plans do you have with the newly designed website?
Well, I'm very lucky. I met a teacher, a web builder, designer called Mark Bain, and he took care of the function. He did a really excellent job. And I've been at the content. And yes, it's a necessity really. If you don't work for a publisher and you're sharing ideas, and the ideas are primarily web-based materials ideas, then you've got to have a way to direct the students and the participants and the teachers that you're working with. So this website is a sort of natural progression of that. So all of the ideas that I'm showing, if they're not already on the site, they will be in the next few weeks anyway, so yeah.
And the URL is?
lessonstream.org.
Great.
Yeah.
Wish you the best of luck with it, James.
Thank you very much, Mark. And thank you very much to ISTEK and Borja for a great job and a great weekend.